Suzy, played by Martell Attenborough, had been harboring a secret for months on Emmerdale, but after confessing all to Vanessa Woodfield, Michelle Hardwick, earlier this week, the truth finally came out. Moira Barton, Natalie J. Robb, was devastated to discover the newcomer to the ITV soap had given her daughter, Holly Barton, Sophie Powles, the money for the drugs on which she overdosed and died. The businesswoman was desperate to keep this connection under wraps, but this might be because she knows the police will find out this isn't the only death she has been a part of. Also in this week's episodes, Dawn Taylor, Olivia Bromley, was given the heartbreaking news her best friend Beth had died of a drug overdose. A few years ago, following her arrival in the village, Dawn had managed to get herself clean, but her friend struggled to stay on the straight and narrow. It was her other friend and current drug user Jade, Abigail Otley, who told her what had happened, and the mother of one couldn't believe what she was hearing. This was because the last time Dawn heard from her best friend, she was getting back on track with her life and was trying to stay off the drugs. Therefore, someone could have possibly lured her back to the addiction she had been struggling with for years, and this could be down to Suzy. Taking to Twitter, viewers of the show shared their theories, with Jess writing, "Dawn's new long-term best friend's death is well gonna be linked to Suzy #Emmerdale. Is Dawn's dead friend gonna be linked to Suzy? #Emmerdale, swallcatted on the social media platform. Rachel posted, "Do we really need two drug storylines at the same time? What's the betting Dawn's new, now dead, best friend has links to Suzy #Emmerdale?" With this in mind, there could be a reason as to how Suzy is connected to Beth and why she could have also played a part in her death. When they were friends, Suzy and Holly could have met Beth whilst going out and partying, and she could have been in the midst of her addiction. When she heard Holly had died through the grapevine, Dawn's friend could have decided she was going to try and get herself clean. This would have meant cutting contact with Suzy to avoid any temptation and try to find a new group of friends to hang around with. She would have also found herself a new career path, as she wouldn't have wanted to continue with sex work as she had her daughter, Clemmy. However, earlier this year, she could have bumped into Suzy, who was now partying with Layla Harding, Roxy Shahidi, and taking drugs with her. Although she would have tried to resist temptation, Suzy and Layla could have called Beth barring for not getting involved. Therefore, with pressure from her peers, Beth would have started taking drugs again, but she would have quickly gone back down a dark path. Starting on cocaine, she could have moved on to heroin, and this is what would have led to her overdose, as she would have wanted more and more. Having goaded her and pressured her into relapsing, Suzy would have played a big part in her death. Only time will tell if she realizes she had a connection to Dawn's friend, but this would mean she would make a lot more enemies. Is Suzy going to become one of the most hated characters in the soap's history, as she has played a part in a lot of people's trauma? How well do you know your British soaps? How many times has Ian Beale been married in EastEnders? What is the name of Bianca Jackson and Ricky Butcher's son on EastEnders? On EastEnders in 2002, who accidentally ran Jamie Mitchell over in his car, which caused his death? How many times has Corey's Steve MacDonald been married? What happened to Emily Bishop in Coronation Street? who murdered Maxine Peacock in Coronation Street in 2003? Which incident in 1993 killed off 4 characters in Emmerdale? When did the show stop being known as Emmerdale Farm? On what day did Hollyoaks air its first episode? What was the name of the much-loved Coronation Street pet dog who was put down in April 2020 after 14 years? 1996 saw the arrival of one of Hollyoaks' all-time bad boys and rival, a Kurt Benson, but who is he? Who is the longest-serving character on Coronation Street? Who shot Phil in EastEnders? How many fires have there been at Corey's Rover's return? Get out of my pub, you're no soaps fan. You're either too young to remember the big lines or have better things to do on weekday evenings. Casual viewer, you watch them sometimes so you kinda know what's been going on. Die-hard fan, you love watching the soaps so much your entire week is planned around when they air. The actress who plays Suzy, Merton, has spoken about her character's link to Holly and how the pair were connected because they ran in the same circles with wedding events. Merton explained, on the party scene, drugs were involved and they took occasional drugs together. One particular evening, Suzy couldn't make it to see her dealer and she asked Holly if she would go and pick the drugs up for her, gave Holly the money to pick up the drugs, and Holly then went and got her own drugs and then overdosed on these drugs. She doesn't want anyone to know that she knew Holly, and she becomes really scared and worried, not that her cover has been blown as she's not trying to hide anything, but she doesn't realize the connections, and now that she does, she's scared that people are going to blame her for things. The actress who plays Vanessa, Michelle, has also offered her take on her character finding out about Suzy's past. Michelle said, she is devastated. She thinks Suzy isn't the person she thought and even says that every day they've been together has just been a lie. When Vanessa thinks about Johnny, she realizes how scary that is. Suzy has been with her child when she's potentially been high. I think Suzy is really good at hiding things, and at one point, Vanessa even says that she's been taken for a mug because Suzy's so good at lying. She had no idea. So could this be another indication Suzy is to blame for someone else's death?